If I remember rightly, I'm not sure if this was your actual situation, yeah, but I remember there being some type of conversation we had where you were like, boy, when it's time for investment and asking certain man, you know what I mean, to try and pitch in or whatever, all of a sudden man they don't answer the phone and all of that. So you get, like, everyone will be out there spending bare dough and doing this money thing, whatever. When you got something that you might have, you want the man them to invest in, then all of a sudden no one's picking up the phone and all of that. I'm assuming that was an element of the hustle before, when you was trying to do the intent, because you did it all independently, all your own money, all of that stuff. You've linked up with Island now. Like, explain to me the conversation that was had to make that happen,
that
and why.
That starts with Nicky.
So, and was that part of the plan though, or was you?
Do you know what? That's always been Nicky's vision.
That's always my vision. Like, to be honest, like I always thought, you know what? Like, we made the first intent. We got private investors. It was hard to convince people to put their money in and stuff like that. Because when you're asking somebody to part of their money, even if it's £100, everybody doesn't want to part of their money.
Of course.
If they can't see it before it's happening, you know, it's hard for people to see and believe before something's happened. Sorry
to interject though, yeah. Barring Island aside, with the intent to, hypothetically speaking, would you have been able to ring the same investors this time around, and would they have been more willing to put the money through?
We had bigger dreams because they've all made their money back on profit. And at the point we're making an intent, they didn't have the money in their account, but we had, like, you know, scheduled payments that were going to come in that was going to guarantee their money back. Like, as we're speaking today, they're all in profit, like, from the first intent, every single one of them. And so because of that, like, you know, that was always, with those people, you could always go back to them. But we had a bigger dream, we had a bigger ambition, we wanted bigger budgets, we wanted to film in Jamaica. Like, for us, all these different things was like, you know, how do we raise what we're doing to another level? Like, you know, how do we look at, like, you look at the culture and you look at how everyone's moving, and it's like, how do we make the intent sick for street film, setting the ends and all of that stuff, but there's, like, it's got its flaws, it's limited, because, like, you know,
is it because of the financial aspect?
Yeah, because
finance always makes you limited.
If you give me like 2-3 million to go and make a film, oh my gosh, there'll be like madness, like, you know, like, what I'll be able to do with that money. So, like, even the intent, the actual intent 2 that we're talking about, it looks like $1 million plus film. It's not that. It's a lot. Intent 2 cost the same as Kidulthood, which was like $500,000. All them, like,
really?
Like, intent 2 is, like, you know, not that much money, but, like, the way we...
So I'm taking it that the first intent was a lot less than that.
Yeah.
A lot less.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, how much less?
It's like at least
it's
half.
a 6.
At least 50% less.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting to me.
Like, so, but do you know what's mad about?
Chucky, do you know what type of things I do like? It's not I'm pocket watching or whatever. Yeah, I just find I'm quite inspired.
Do you know what's mad about?
I like to know figures.
Chucky, do you know what's mad about audiences though? Audiences don't care how much it costs to make your product.
Nah.
And so you always have to try your best with what you're given. If you're gonna put it out there as a commercial product, creative product, you have to try your best to make it sound like, to make it look like you made it in Hollywood, to make it sound like you recorded in the best studio if you're making music. But the only reason why, because if I'm listening to it, for me as a 16-year-old, when I'm listening to like Unknown T, that tune, when I'm listening to Omet and B and I'm listening to all of that, there's no difference between that and me listening to Drake, big studio. Like, audiences don't consume based on budgets. No. So you just have to make the most.
Not saying that each tune wasn't made in a big studio.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not trying to diss it. No, I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying it's not Drake's studio though. It's not Drake's setup. Like, Drake, I'm just using Drake. Imagine anyone on Drake in comparison to Drake or Beyonce or Jay-Z on them. Like, you know, they've got the best engineers. You know, they've got the best everything. But actually, the music that people are making independently, like, is just as good to the audience consuming it. Audiences don't think about budgets. Audiences compare it to, is it as good as, like, a film that was made for 10 million?
That's real. I'm not, because this is the thing, I'm a proper casual film watcher. I don't watch bare films like that. When it comes to music, I'm a stan. So I can tell, see, like, when you just use the example of, like, Unknown T, for example, you recording his song and the Drake or whatever, sonically in my ears I can tell massive differences.
But I can't.
Exactly. So for me, being the casual film watcher, I don't see nothing other than what I'm just looking at on the screen, and I'll compare your things to James Bond and everything.
Exactly,
I'll do that because I'm just casual with
because that's what audiences do. Because audiences do not, and so for us, we that's what I mean when I say like with what I'm given, I try my best to make it look the best. Like, you know, I'll do everything within my power with what we're given to make it the best.
So why Island then?
For Ireland, do you know what it was? It wasn't why Ireland. For me, like, I studied the American game. Like, I love it, innit? So seeing Master P, seeing all these old films like the Jay-Z's, the Paid in Full. For me, there was like, my original idea was like, let's just make a film and DVD it up and sell it at the back of our boot, like how Jammer and them lot done Lord of the Mics and stuff like that. And then I was thinking, you know what? Who knows black culture the best? A music label does. Like Ireland, all the music people know black culture here. There's black music in this country and it's selling. We've got gigs, we've got all these other people, we've got Wiley, we've got Dizzy. So for me, it's just like, why would a record label not make a film? Like everyone goes to them for the soundtrack. Why don't we go to them for a film? And then also they can have the soundtrack. Because
they've never done, like, Ireland here have never done a film.
No, they've done one. No, I don't know if it's actual Ireland from the UK, but they made The Harder They Come. It's from Ireland funded. Harder They Come's a Jimmy Cliff film. It's old school film. It's like, it's a classic. But they haven't made a film since then. I think they've done a documentary, Amy Winehouse, but they've not actually made a film. So for me, it just made sense. Why don't we approach a record label to invest in making a film, and then they can have the soundtrack, and then maybe they can put some of their artists who are signed to them in the film, so they're promoting their artists in the film as well. Do you understand? It's a double bubble win for them. So what I did, to be honest, I put up an Instagram post about a film that I wanted to make called Sound Clash. It was based on like the dancehall in the 80s and 90s, the early Ninja Man, Beanie Man, do you understand, Shabba Ranks times. I put up a picture of Ninja Man and I said Sound Clash, the movie coming soon. Like, not even having a script or anything, it was just like, I there. Then Twin hit me up on Instagram. It's like, yo, what's this?
Yeah,
and I was like, it's a movie that man wants to do. He's like, yo, come in and speak to me, because obviously Ireland, whatever. So I went in, met him. He's like, what you up to? I said, listen, we done the intent, blah blah blah. I've got there's a few films I want to make. Like, I've got this Sound Clash movie, but the script's not ready. But I've got the intent too. Like, we just put out the intent, it done well. He's like, yeah, I'm interested. Let me run it by Darkus. Then he ran it by Darkus.
He got Darkus by
and then Darkus came in. I was speaking to Darkus. I said, yeah, boom, boom. Darkus like, I love it. He's like, I love it. Like, let's do it. And I was like, let's do it. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So then I came out, I rang Femi. He was like, Femi, yeah, they're really interested. Boom, boom, boom. We went back down there, had a meeting, and then we're here today.
Mad. So what like, because negotiating with somebody like Island Records to put a film out must be a lot different.
Listen, the whole process of us actually signing our contract took a year. We got offered our deal.
Is that long or is that short?
That's long.
No, do you know what? In film, it's weird. In film, it's not long.
Bro, I thought it was long.
In doing a deal, it's long.
It might have felt long.
No, but remember, we're negotiating a contract for a year. That's long.
Yeah, that's long, man.
Yeah.
That's long, because deals get signed. When a tune comes out, a man they will hear a tune on the radio, and that deal will be done by Friday.
Yeah.
If it's today or Tuesday, whatever day it is, because they need to move quick, because that song becomes old. It doesn't become current anymore.
Obviously, with film, there's no urgency.
There's no urgency. Well, they're not a film company.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the same time, it's new territory for them. They have to get somebody who understands film to come in and oversee it with them. You know, we're telling...
So what, did they have to outsource somebody?
Yeah, they outsourced someone. They got somebody to come in.
Okay.
They got someone to come... Well, they'd worked with him before on the Amy Winehouse film.
Oh, yeah.
So they got him to come in, basically.
Because originally, what it was, is like Ireland and another company called Studio Canal, who made Yardie. You know, Idris Elba film Yardie.
Yeah.
There's a company called Studio Canal. They're all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
So Studio Canal...
And Ireland... Oh, sorry.
Studio Canal.
I said, can I finish? I was trying to amplify what he said, bruv.
Studio Canal and Ireland are under the same umbrella. Yeah. And then, like, they Ireland partnered us with them. So they was like, listen, we've got these guys, but you need to... They gave us to Studio Canal. So we went to Studio Canal, and we was doing the process of making this film with them. Do you understand? We was writing the script and stuff like that. And Studio Canal was just like... They was just giving us bare notes. There was just like, no, we don't like this, we don't like that, change this, change that, do this, do that. But to be fair, the notes were good. Like, a lot of the notes was helping us as scriptwriters to develop more, but we wanted to move now. And when somebody's coming in trying to change certain things,
at this point you've already got everything.
Yeah,
we've got now and
we've done it as well. Like, we've done it. Like, do you understand? We've really,
ain't that hard to deal with?
It's frustrating. Yeah. It's very frustrating when somebody comes in to try and control what you're doing, and they're telling you, no, this won't work, that won't work, this won't work. Do you understand? It's very frustrating because me and Femi had already done the intent. So
I could just Femi, I can't, like, do you know what? I actually can't imagine how. I could imagine maybe how you might have dealt with that. I can't imagine how Femi would have dealt with that. I can't imagine how
fine. He didn't deal with that. I deal with that better.
Did you?
Yeah.
Serious?
He can't deal with that.
I can't deal with that.
He can't deal with that more. Like, the thing is, like, remember, I grew up in film and TV. I take notes all the time.
Okay.
And it's like free consultancy.
Yeah, I hear that.
So, like, if I give you my script to read and you give me feedback on it, I don't have to listen to your feedback.
True.
But you might give me 1 or 2 feedback that's good. No one ever gives completely crap feedback.
Yeah.
No one.
There's like, there's always like one, or there's always like something.
There's a gem in there somewhere. Even like the biggest hater in the world, if they're giving you feedback, they'll tell you 1 or 2 things that are good. And so I'm always open to notes. Like, from especially in the creative process, like, I'll talk to people about that idea. Sometimes, when I'm telling people about projects that I'm doing, I've not written it down. I'm just talking to you to see, like, what you think is sick. So I'll be like, yeah, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And then, like, I'll look to see what your reaction is. And things that you say, oh my gosh, that's sick.
Yeah, then you know.
Then I know in my head, but I store it in my head. I make sure that's in the script. And I do that all the time, where I'm like, literally, I'm like, people are like, what are you doing next? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this project, and I'm just talking about something that I've only thought about in my head and I'm not written down. And I'm testing that idea out on people as I talk. And then from there, people are like, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? It's like, and that's how you, like, nurture ideas. So I think I'm open to, like, you know, people pitching in with their creativity. But with us, with the intent too, I think pace of process was more important than going back and forth for, like, years.
And the thing is as well, is like, you're listening to somebody who doesn't really understand your culture. So it's like, you're in a position of, well, I need your money, I need this deal. They know you need this deal. So it's a power trip at the same time. So it's like, if you don't really do what I say, you may not get this deal.
It might jeopardize the deal.
So that's how I felt. Like, with Studio Canal, I felt like they were saying, oh, don't go to Jamaica. I was like, we're definitely going to. They literally did. They was trying. He was like, it's not strong enough. It's this. And maybe he had a certain point to what he was saying, but I felt like the way they was delivering it to us. And for me, in my mind, I always look at people and think, oh, what's your process thought behind this? What are you thinking behind this? And they had Yardie. So for me, I'm thinking, well, you're putting out Yardie. The intent is a low budget movie compared to Yardie. At the same time, we're trying to go Jamaica. Yardie shot in Jamaica. Why would they want 2 films?
Oh, right. So was it like an element of discouragement?
Yeah. I think they were trying to shelf us.
Yeah.
They were trying to shelf us.
I think they were trying to shelf us.
Oh, they were just trying to shelf you completely?
Yeah, because obviously we've got a similar script. Yardie was about Turks. The intent was about Turks. At this time, we didn't know this because I've not seen a Yardie film.
I've never read the book.
I've never read the book. I have not read the script, but we had similar things. So now we're telling them that we're trying to go to Jamaica and make this film on a shoestring budget, and we're going to have popcorn, we're going to have this, and they're thinking in their head, well, we gave Idris Elba millions.
Yeah, to do this.
How you lot going to do this?
Like, Yardie's 7 mil.
Oh, for real? See, this is the thing, as somebody who's a casual film watcher, to me, in terms of how it looked, there was no difference.
But you know what it is? It's about, just because we've got a budget that's maybe not the same as Yardie, we still got the same resources. Like, we will still shoot on the best camera, but we may not have 3 setups or 2 setups. We might have 1 setup. Like, do you understand? Like,
and also, I know that probably this doesn't, like, boost it that much, but I guess it depends. Does it depend on, like, also the type of people that you're paying to do jobs and all of that?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So, like, Yardie, they've got one of the best cinematographers in England.
All of that costs peas.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? And also, at the same time, they've got bigger, there's more scale.
Yeah.
So they've got a bigger team. We might have had a team of like say 30, and they've had a team of 100 and something.
Yeah, of course.
Do you get what I'm saying? Just working on the. Sometimes you go on film sets, yeah. Like there's people there whose job is just to make tea.
Yeah.
Like the runners, some runners are there and they're paid proper wages, you know.
Yeah.
But their job is literally one. Like there'll be a runner there whose job it is to just make tea for a melamine.
Yeah, that's
because he's the lead, and that's
not
it.
A big surprise to me.
But then I'm talking like then that goes across the board. Yeah. Then there will probably be a makeup artist that just does a melamine. Then there's, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like depending on scale, you can scale it up so that the person on the film set only has one job. You know, one of those. You know when they say you only had one job.
Yeah.
Like, but literally, like sometimes on film sets, people have only one job to deliver, and that's like making tea. That's like doing a Mel's makeup. That's like Beanie's driver. That's like Beanie's security man. And obviously, when you work on a film on a budget like ours, we can't have people there whose job is to do just one job thing, for one person. Cool. And that's where you cut back on the scale. Yeah. And that's where you're able to, like, you know, with our budgets focus on what's on screen. Yeah. So like, how can we get the best camera? What are the best lenses that we can afford for our money? What is, like, you know, how do we get the most out of our locations? What location should we be going to? Should we shoot in Jamaica or should we shoot all in UK? All of these things is focused on actually making the film have the highest production values possible.
And you can see that when you watch it. You know, when you watch the intent to, like that, we wanted the people to feel like it's a step up. Yeah. You didn't want to watch the intent 1 and then watch the intent 2 and it seems the same. The intent 2 is bigger.
Well, car crashes, that's another thing.
Big shootouts, Jamaica. It's just more bigger.
1,000,000%. I think as well, again, as someone as a casual film watcher, going into watching this, I was thinking, like, what? Actually, before I even went to go and watch it, when I was like looking at some of the actors that you had, some of them being artists or whatever, when I realised that they were in Jamaica to film, instantly in my head I was like, okay, cool. I could see that you lot are trying to do something to take it to the next level in some respect, because I think that for me as well, watching it, that was that thing also that did make it that, especially being a Jamaican as well. I think that, like, being a Jamaican, and Jamaicans will say this as well, like, we're very protective over our patois. Do you get what I'm saying? And how it's represented in it, So sometimes, and I feel like, with all due respect to Yardi, because I feel like Amel was really good. I felt like he nailed his part very well, but there was a lot of questionable parts within the patois and whatnot. And I was quite scared that you lot was gonna kind of make
a mockery.
Not even so much a mockery. I would have said more of the mistake of, you know, having a bunch of people there filming in Jamaica, but just, or whatever, even filming here, but not having the patois proper. I like the way that Popcorn was still himself though. Even though he was acting, he didn't try to say things with extra clarity and all of that to, do you know what I mean? Like, he was himself, and that to me, as a Jamaican as well, showed me, this is we hired
real Jamaican people from Jamaica. We auditioned over 100 Jamaican people. Like, we put Popcorn in it. We put Teddy Brockshot, Louis Rankin from Belly and Shutters in it. You know, we put a little boy.
One of my favorite bad man actors as well. You know?
We put this little boy in it, Bob, who was one of the big DJ's son in it. Do you understand? We put a woman called Sophia, who's Louis Rankin's sidekick, the policewoman, the Yardie policewoman. She's from Jamaica. She's from Trench Town. She works in the Bob Marley Museum. Like, we casted all the girls you see in Jamaica are real Jamaican girls. Miss Jamaica, like, they're real Jamaicans. Like, we couldn't go to Jamaica and not put real Jamaican people in it. It was
only Tanika that, like, Tanika's. Where is she from? Is she Jamaican?
Tanika's Jamaican, isn't it?
Jamaican, yeah.
But Tanika's always in Yard. You know, and for us, like, to be honest, like, Tanika didn't even have to be Jamaican. She could have just been a British girl who's in Jamaica. Like
Castastic. Did Castastic speak in patois? I can't remember.
Well, no, not really. Not really.
By the way, sorry though, like, when I saw him in it, I wanted to hug you, man. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because I've spoken about him a couple of times before, like, and I'm going to continue to do this as well, because I want people to understand, like, Castastic is a proper G, you know, and like what happened to him was so unfortunate. Like, for people who don't know, Castastic, I don't want to tell a story properly. I did an interview with him before I started the podcast. Literally a couple of episodes before we started the first one, I was doing what was a podcast but not realizing it was a podcast. I was just like having long conversations with man or whatever, and he'd just been removed from the country. So I was the first person to speak with him while he was in Jamaica, just trying to find his feet or whatnot, and it, like, to this day, it's one of the most touching conversations I've had, because he'd been in England since he was a kid, like 4 years old or whatever, and then at 18, just when he's in the music thing, my man was like, as he was coming, he was popping, bruv.
It was like him, Young and Ghetts and Conan.
Exactly. Sneakbo was obviously already doing his thing, but he was looking like he was gonna be the next one, like literally the next one. Walk the street with him, like go O2 or whatever, and you'll see bare kids running up around him, filming him or whatever, and then literally just to have a knock at the door one day and say, right, come with me quickly. And then you can't go nowhere, and the next minute you're at the airport and they're asking you for papers and this, that and the other. I brought this up when we was talking about the Rinrush thing, because I didn't know whether there was a thing within that. But when he was in Jamaica, he went back, he didn't have nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? He didn't have nothing. And for somebody to be that age, and to go back to, even though that's where he's from or where he was born, he didn't know it, because he didn't know it at all. Yeah, so like, I know that he's in Jamaica now. He seems like a lot more happier now. It seems like he found his feet, man. I know that him and Ghetts and that really connected when you were filming or whatever. But for you, man, to put him in it, I just, as a person who sees things from a deeper aspect, I just wanted to thank you, man, for that still, because I just thought, to be out there, it only made sense to use somebody like him. I mean,
his story was quite compelling. Like, in the same way that was compelling to you, it was compelling to us. Yeah. And I remember, like,
you killed him in the film, though.
Yeah. Why you giving that? Well, you can't give it away, but yeah. But like, you know what? His story was so compelling. In the same way, like the same energy, the same, like, what you felt is what we felt about that situation. And like, I remember at the time when we were going to Jamaica, I was going for the first time. For the recce, I remember, like, we'd always, even when we were writing the script, imagine this, we created the character, we're like, you know what, we should try to get Castastic to play this. Yeah. And when we were writing it, and we kept saying, yeah, we'll get him to play it. We finished the script, and then Rashid from Link Up, I think, hit me up or Nicky up, both of us maybe, on the same day when we're going. He goes, you man are going to Jamaica, I know you're going to film in Jamaica.
Link up with my man.
Fam,
isn't it like Rashid, like, just a mad plug?
But listen to me. I'd already DM'd him, Castastic, on that exact same day. Imagine that. Like, earlier that day, I DM'd Castastic, and he was like, I've messaged him saying, you know what, I'm coming Jamaica. Me and Nicky are gonna be there. We're gonna be staying at this hotel. Link us up, innit? Like, blah blah blah. I think within a day, like maybe even on that day, he came. He drove down.
Remember, we didn't even know if he could act or anything.
And then we had a meeting with him. We spoke to him about the character. We spoke to him about, you know, what would be required of him as an actor, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, you know, it was really up for it. Spoke to him about what our vision was for the project. And that was, 2017? That was last year. And then when we got it, like when we finalised the deal, we just got it cracking, and you know, and he was a joy to work with, man. He's really committed. He's a really nice guy.
He's a perfectionist, man. He's a nice guy. He's on it. He's on time. He's just like, he's a good spirit, man. Like, a lot of people, I look at him sometimes, I think, if I was in your position, how would I cope? You know, and the strength in him alone, when you see him, he's a survivor. He's in Jamaica. Everyone who comes to Jamaica, he's plugging up.
Of course.
Everyone I see who comes from here is over there. Cash is helping them do something or connect them with something. And I feel like people like that, you just need to embrace, man. You need to help him, and you need to promote him and keep flying the flag for him until he gets home, because this is his home. I know he's from Jamaica, but he's born there, but this is his home, man. So he needs to get back here.
Hopefully, you know, things will be, well, you know what I mean, it will all work itself out.
God's grace.
Yeah, shout out to him still. And you are right. Enough people, when they go out there, they connect with him. And I went out there recently, I wasn't able to do that, but yeah, man, I just got a lot of time for that, brother, anyway. How did you find it out there anyway, like working wise in Jamaica?
It was easier to film in Jamaica than London.
Serious?
Yeah.
How comes? In what sense?
Because there's less restrictions. In England, there's a lot of restrictions on what you can do. Like in Jamaica, you can lock off a road, like, you know, without that much headache. In London, there's...
Have you got to connect with a couple of bad man out there just to say, yo, listen, you need Spanish Town quickly?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
you need that. You can't just turn up.
You can't just turn up. Like, you need to, like, you can't roll around Kingston and not be certified. But at the same time, we was with Popcorn as well, do you know?
Yeah, so he's
we had a good producer who knew Jamaica well and took us out there, and we were certified out there. And the thing is, like, also when you're dealing with black people to black people, it's much easier. Like, there's not so much restrictions in it. You're in a black country that are used to black people doing stuff. In the UK, it's very hard for black filmmakers. There's restrictions. You know, there's still a lot of walls to overcome, a lot of things to jump over, hurdles. So it was much easier. You know, you can go there, and we're English and we're British. You know, that gives you.
I think being black and British is like the best thing outside of Britain. You can finesse.
Say that again?
So being black and British is the best finesse when you're not in England.
Fair. Why'd you say that?
Because in England, being black is a thing. Like, it's like there's all these negative stereotypes attached to you. Yeah, like obviously that's a generalization, right? The minute you step outside of Britain, first you're in America, you're black, and then you've got a British accent. Mad confusing for them. It's like their mind explodes. Their brain is like, oh my gosh, they're so intrigued by you. In Africa, same thing. Like, do you get what I'm saying? You go to the Caribbean, like, it's kind of, in a way, it's like you're embraced, like, and also the fact that you're aware about the culture. People always confuse that you know about their culture when you go there, but because we're black and British, we've been exposed to everyone's culture. So, like, you know, like a British kid that's from the Caribbean knows about Wizkid and David O, as well as about Popcorn, and even no matter where they're like, do you get what I'm saying? Where they're from, they're influenced by all these cultures. And so we're influenced by all these different cultures in a way that people from outside our culture, so African Americans, are not necessarily have the same points of references as us, instead of in terms of like knowing about the Caribbean, and as well as knowing about, you know, what it means to be British, as well as knowing about African culture and so on and so forth. But our positioning within the world means that we've been exposed to so much, and so we've got heightened awareness of all the different cultures, I reckon. And then at the same time, people always still baffled that, like, you know, you've got this black and British thing, and it really helps. It really does help when you're not here.
I hear that still. I think in America it's weird. Like, for me personally, I know I'm taking this to maybe to a different place here, but like being black and British in America, to me, even though instantly amongst them I have an English like an English speaking accent or whatever it is, for me it's like the fashion side of things that makes me feel empowered when I'm there. And I was having this conversation with, and I'm not even a fashion man like that, but it's like I was having this conversation with Lee from Trapstar the other day, and do you know how sick it feels for me to go to America and I'm wearing Trapstar or I'm wearing Benja or whatever? Like, to me that makes me feel feel empowered and different. I don't go there feeling like, when I was younger I used to always feel like, oh, I want to be like them. I want to go, I want to do what they're doing.
No, but we've got a strong identity now.
The only place that I go and I want to be like anyone is when I go home to Jamaica. Do you get what I'm saying? When I go home, like, my element of fitting in, there's a different element of fitting in for me when I go there. Do you get what I'm saying? Anywhere else, I'm like, that's why more time when you see me, you know my thing anyway.
You're rapping. But no, but you're right. It's just that, you know, it's we've got like a strong identity now. I think the culture, the music culture has influenced that. Like, and also, like, you know, people recognize that identity. I remember, like, we were at this dinner in LA. We did a screening last week in LA, and with this girl, and she was in, there's a guy that's into art, like an art dealer, and he's come to the dinner as well because he come to meet up with her. And she said to him, listen, like, these guys, they've made a film, it's got the sickest soundtrack, do you know about grime, do you know about UK rap? And the guy was like, no, I've never heard of UK rap, grime. And he's writing it down. She's gone to him, what? That's like the most potent form of hip-hop right now. She's from Miami, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? She's from Miami, bro. Like, and the way she was hyping the UK thing is like, we've got such a strong voice globally now. And even like being in LA, and like, you know, just everyone that was out there getting love, like, you know, was out there with Angel, was out there with Koji Radical, sorry, and then we were out there with Mira May and like, you know, all these people pass through the screening.
Oh, is it?
And like, you know, and like the
even Napa
was there.
Napa was out there.
Napa was out there.
Napa's everywhere, boy.
But yeah, but I feel like, you know, our thing, our culture, whatever that is at the moment is like, you know, not just local, it's growing globally.
Of course.
UK music's just come a long way, you know, because when you hear like a Giggs and Drake track, Giggs is spinning, you know, he's doing his thing. Like, it's not like back in the day where people were excited to get American feature. Like now it's like you're excited to have Giggs on your song, you know? Like it's a massive difference, you know?
I mean, it makes me happy when I see the track listing for the Switch Beats album and I'm seeing like there's a Giggs track on there. That gasses me. I know, and I'm like, you know, like that's Switch Beats from Rough Riders,
of
you
course.
know? Like, you know?
Crazy. Like, he fucks with, but he like from a while anyway, like I know that him and Angel are very close. And they've been close for a while. Like it's for Angel to tell the story about how that happened. But you know, and I know that he was like one of the people that plugged in with Giggs and all of that stuff. So yeah, man, all of that's sick. What I want to ask you, Ghetts has never acted before.
Yeah.
All right. So he's the main Don in this thing. What, like, how and why?
We like, auditioned like loads of people. Like Sculpture was just a massive shoes to fill, innit?
Of course.
Like, and we auditioned loads of actors, and they were great actors, but they just something was missing in it. And Femi was like, "Why don't you like?" Let's put Ghetts. Was you going? See, like, how did that process work? Did you go to certain artists and say, "Look, could you come and audition for this or whatever?" Or did you just throw it out there and man? No, you know what it was. We didn't even throw it out there for the lead like that. We was actually seeing actors.
Not even just the lead, not even just the lead, but just
for the original.
Just for like a bunch of the characters there.
No, you know what? A bunch of the characters are actually in the film. We had them in mind.
Okay.
Like literally, we had them in mind.
But you was auditioning for the lead though.
Yeah, but for the lead, like we auditioned for that. And for me, like Sculpture was so amazing in Intent 1. Like he's such a sick actor. It's like he's flawless, to be honest. Like I think he's one of the best actors this country's got. So for me, like, how do you feel that? Like we're seeing all these actors. I don't know, cause Scorch is not trained. He's not like he's just got that raw. He's got that 2-pack thing.
He's like
he just got it.
He's like one of them dons, yeah. Like this is a bit different, but you know you get them like them dons that like they can just do a bunch of things.
Yeah,
you know, like that's one of the reasons why like Chris Brown makes me sick. Because he can sing, he can dance, and he can play basketball. Have you seen the way the dude plays basketball and does all of that? Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? Like, dudes, like people like that in my school just pissed me off because they could just do everything. And Scorcher comes across as one of them guys who could just do a lot of. He would just naturally,
and they do it flawless, like without effortless. You know, like they don't. It's just a natural thing. So. Scorcher not being around and us just auditioning people and we were seeing people, it just didn't feel right. And it just like, how do you get somebody to sort of replace Scorcher? It's just such a difficult job. So Femi was like, Ghetts. I was like, Ghetts? I wasn't really thinking, like, it's not that I didn't think Ghetts could do it because I think he can act. I knew Ghetts is like a talented person, but I just think, could he commit to this? Like, he's an artist as well. Like Scorcher had the understanding.
There's also a big difference here between like, because like, who Ghetts used to be as a boy, coming into a man, that's evident. It's in the music. Yeah, when you hear him in his music, you know, like. Forget just the lyrics, his clarity, the way that he says things and all of that stuff, you know exactly what he's about. But acting is a completely different thing.
And see, the thing is, me and Ghetts are good friends. I've known Ghetts for years. I grew up with Ghetts. So when you're thinking of putting this guy in the film, you're thinking about your friendship. You're thinking about, is Ghetts gonna come every day at 6 o'clock in the morning? Is he gonna be listening to everybody on set? Because he's matured as a person. Ghetts is like, the Ghetts I grew up with and the Ghetts who he is now is like two different people completely. Like Ghetts has grown so much. He's so mature now. Like it's unbelievable. He's grown. He's found himself. Do you understand? So when Femi was saying Ghetts, I was thinking, I'm not sure. I'm not. It's a. I thought it was a risk.
And it's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment, and I know Ghetts is about his music. Like everything first is music. I know. I didn't think he would be really interested in acting. So Femi got him in. Femi's like, no, get him in. He came in for an audition, and like. he blew the casting director away. He didn't even see us at first. He went to the casting director because we had a casting director looking at people to come and audition for the film, and the casting director was excited by him. And then we saw him, and he smashed it. And then it was like he still wasn't sure if he was going to do the film. And then him and Femi went out for the day. I think they went out for the day.
Did you have to convince him to come?
Yeah, of course, because he was like, he wasn't interested in acting at all.
Yeah.
Like, Ghetts is a perfectionist. If he doesn't feel that he's going to be 100% in it, he may not do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a new territory for him. It's like the lead. You're not asking him to do a cameo.
Yeah.
You're asking this guy to be the lead of a movie.
Yeah.
That's like the biggest actor's dream.
Of
Big
course.
actors ain't even, like, how many people in this country can say they've been the lead of a film?
Of course. Does that, like, see, in the acting industry, yeah, is that a problem?
That is a problem. Actors hate it. Actors will tell you for days, why are you using Ghetts, why are you doing this? But we, like Nicky said, we auditioned about 100 actors, and so, and they weren't authentic. Let's be real, they were acting. It's weird. I find it.
Yeah,
I'm an actor myself,
and they were acting.
It's acting. Bad. It's like they were acting bad.
But yeah, it's not believable.
Yeah, so I can't do a film. The intent, and what people really like about the intent was that it was authentic. We can't then follow it up with an actor acting bad.
You know what it is? With some of the actors in the film, you actually believe maybe these man could do this. Yeah, they do this thing. Like, it's,
don't that kind of just mean, yeah, that, to be fair, that them actors just weren't good then? Because really, if you're acting, say you're acting as a gay man, but you're a gallus in real life.
Yeah,
I have to believe in this film, or in this moment, you are gay, and that's you love the same sex. I've got to really believe that. I've got to believe that. I've got to believe it. Otherwise, it doesn't, like. Yeah. Otherwise, ultimately, you just weren't good.
Do you know what?
If I don't believe you, you weren't good.
Chucky, do you know what I find?
So
do you know what I find? Like, I find that actors find it so hard to play an authentic street guy. Like, because I think they shout, I think they think what a street guy's gonna be. Like, for some reason, people think that if you're, let's just say a rude boy, innit? Let's just put it out there. When actors think somebody's a rude boy, they think he's loud, he's a certain way, and it's just not like that in the real world. Like, some of the wickedest man is quiet. Yeah. Like, you don't even know that the wickedest man in the room is the quietest man.
Yeah, of course.
It's not the guy shouting and carrying on away. He's probably the pussy-o. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the wickedest man who's gonna do you something and gonna bust you on your head is the quietest man in the room. And I feel like certain actors, I feel like they've watched too many EastEnders, and they've watched too many where they cast somebody to play that stereotypical role, and they act in a certain way.
I think acting for TV and acting for films completely different. And that's the strange. Like, the films, you almost expect film acting to be like premium level. You almost expect to believe that it's real. Sometimes when I watch EastEnders, the acting's really bad. Like, when I watch Emmerdale on Coronation Street, some of the acting.
You still watch Emmerdale?
No, but as in, like, whenever it comes on, like, I don't watch TV that much, but like, whenever I'm in, like, you know, the vicinity of these programs, I'm like, raw, that's really bad acting. But they're getting away with it because, like, people's expectation, people want these weird performances that are maybe heightened and a bit cheesy and a bit over the top. And so for me, I feel like the thing we got with Ghetts was that, you know, the reason Ghetts got the role was Ghetts was the most authentic person for that character. I believed Ghetts as that role, and Ghetts went into the audition with the casting director. He did a really good performance. He came back, did an audition for me and Nicky and the casting directors, along with three other actors on that day, and like, he in the final four, he was the best.
The best man got the job, man.
And I asked myself a question, like, literally, like, for me, how I arrived at my decision was like, this is an action film, right? And so if I gave every single one of these guys that auditioned for me a gun, who do I believe is gonna pull the trigger?
What? Yeah.
And I didn't believe any of those actors could do it. And if I don't believe it, the audience are not going to believe it.
Yeah, but then are you looking at like? It sounds to me that you're looking at the man more than
no. In the character.
Oh, in the character.
Who do I believe out of these people like would really bust the thing without even thinking about it?
If you know Ghetts as a person, Jay is nothing like Ghetts.
Nah.
Like the character actually, what Ghetts plays as Jay. If you know Ghetts personally, certain things that Jay's going through in that film, I could never in my life imagine Ghetts responding in the same way.
Okay.
So when you're watching it, it's not like you're watching Ghetts. I actually am watching this film and it's Jay. Because I know Ghetts on a personal level.
Because, Ghetts is almost like a philosophical person. It's almost like a philosopher.
Yeah.
When you talk to him, you end up in these deep conversations about stuff all the time. I mean, the Ghetts, obviously Nicky knows Ghetts from way back in the day. Like the Ghetts I know, the Ghetts that I've always known, like in the past few years, has been the man version of Ghetts. I've always known man Ghetts.
Yeah.
I didn't really know boy Ghetts. And so like when everyone's like, oh, it's just Ghetts being Ghetts, I'm like, okay, safe. You don't know Ghetts then.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, like Ghetts spitting bars on stage, but that's another persona. Do you get what I'm saying? Because even the way Ghetts plays the character, because everyone's like, what, you got Ghetts? It's gonna be bare hype, innit? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, because they're thinking that
like it's the stage show done. It's not the stage show done. It's not gonna be on.
You're thinking that Ghetts, the MC
Eskimo dance.
Yeah, is the Ghetts that's gonna be on there when ultimately it isn't that still.
You know, and I think it was the best move we could have done, man. When you see Ashley Chin and Ghetts and Dylan Duffus on that poster.
Yeah. Ashley Chin was very good. He's an actor anyway, but he's very good.
He's crazy.
He's one of the best
who I
in the business.
thought was good? I actually thought Fecky was good as well.
Yeah, but Fecky was sick in the first one.
Yeah, he was very good, man. And I liked. It seemed like, I don't know, because he said, like some, I don't know, maybe a lot of them lot did this anyway, but he said to me, like obviously I got the lines and that, but more time I just did my thing.
Yeah, that's true.
He made it.
We let them basically what we do. We give them the script and we tell them like,
do what you
like. Basically, these are the points that we need to hit. There's certain lines you cannot change because it affects the story, but outside of that, like this is your guide. This is your guide, and that's the thing. That's the reason you cast Ghetts as well. Because like, you know what I found on the Intent? I remember we were shooting a scene. It's a good scene. It's one of the best scenes in the Intent. And in that moment, I realized something very interesting. So we're shooting a scene with Scorcher and the woman that plays his mum, Michelle, and they were doing the scene. They were doing rehearsals for the scene, and then Scorcher said a different line. Michelle was like, "What's that?" That's not the way I learned it.
Oh, okay.
So they're so tuned into this.
Okay. So she wasn't able to just kind of know.
And so like the thing is, but the way me and Nicky like to film, it's like it's almost like freehand.
Yeah.
Like there's certain words that we've written in that script that Popcorn would never say, and so because he's gonna say it in a slightly different way.
Of course.
Because like he's
and again, as a Jamaican, I would know if I'm listening to him, and he's saying something in a mad different. I know that a Jamaican wouldn't say it like
exactly.
that.
And so because of that, like you always have to, in order to achieve that level of authenticity, you almost have to get actors that are willing to add their own flavor. Like Kidulthood, most of the funny lines in Kidulthood, me and Adam Deacon made up. Like Noel Clarke will tell you for free. Like, and if he doesn't, he's lying. Like, do you know what I mean? Most literally all the lines that you're like, oh, do you know what? Oh, she aired man, all that ooh. Do you think any of them knew who DWE was? Do you get what I'm saying? When my character comes in the room like ooh, I got the day off school, like, and I'm getting gassed. Do you literally everyone on set was looking at me like, why is he doing that? Yeah. I'm like, no, don't worry, like it's gonna be massive.
It's a gem.
Do you get what I'm saying? And we're doing, me and Adam Deacon are doing all these not like to say we didn't write the script. Like the actors in this film didn't write the scripts, but what they're doing is they're adding texture to it, and they're adding character to it, and they're making it real.
Yeah. I get that still. I was thinking just while you was talking as well, that we are having a good build of actors, that play the bad boy role very well. Cadet, I felt, was very good in Cyro's story. I feel like he is somebody who could play a villain very well and a roadman very well. But also, I made a little list, because I was thinking to myself,
funny,
right?
I made a list.
Now listen to this, because I was thinking, that like there's a thing called typecasting, innit?
Yeah.
So, which means, that like you look at somebody and you would just say, like, so Scorcher, for example. You're always gonna think when you see Scorcher in a movie, he's gonna play the bad boy and all.
But
that.
you know what?
Scorcher. I see Scorcher as like
superhero.
action hero.
Oh, right then.
I see him as a superhero.
I got a little list, of actors that are artists.
Yeah.
That I would like to see them play something different.
Do you know what? Yeah.
All right. So Little Sims, I'd like to see play a mafia boss.
Yeah, but Little Sims was supposed to be that girl in she got offered that role.
All right.
In Black Panther.
Oh really? Yeah.
You know the sister in Black Panther.
She was offered.
She offered that. She turned it down.
Mad. Why?
Because she was on tour with the Gorillas.
Oh, okay. That would have been a nice check for her still. Scorcher, I would have liked to see play some Inspector Gadget kind of vibe.
That's funny.
Yeah, you know what? Scorcher, I definitely see him as like a superhero. He's an
action hero.
Action hero. Like he can do that.
I'd like to see Skepta play a loner. Like a loner in a film. Yeah, he's a loner. Like no one fucks with him. Giggs, I'd like to see play a teacher.
Do you know what? I always see Giggs as like a superhero as well. Someone who could like disappear or because it's a hollow man. You know, like I see him in one of those.
No, but for me, I feel like Giggs could play Samuel L. Jackson's role in Avengers.
Is it? Yeah. Mad. I got Wrecked playing a Rasta man somewhere. I got Lady Leisha as a serial killer.
She could do that. She could be in Kill Bill. I could see Lady Leisha is
actually an actor as well. You know, she's in One Day.
She started out as an actor.
I didn't know that.
You know, One Day, the Birmingham film.
Nah,
you need to watch that.
Is it? Yeah.
You ain't seen One Day.
I ain't seen One Day. I told you, I'm casual in this.
Lady Leisha came out as originally in that as an actor. That was where she first started out.
Oh, okay.
She's sick.
I got Bugsy Malone as like a Spider-Man. Or like a superhero as well. Because
he's got that superhero.
He could do that.
He could do that.
He's hench as well.
I could see him in a boxing film as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Like a Creed or something. Creed. One of the baddies in Creed, innit? Like one of the baddies in Creed or something like that.
Creed.
I got Jamie playing a crackhead.
No, do you know what? I got Jamie down as like Q in James Bond. Like I could see Jamie in Bond like as the tech guy.
Oh yeah,
that would be sick.
Is it? Yeah.
Like if they Bond went and it was Jamie on the computer like making gadgets and that. I could see him more doing that.
I got Young'un playing a gay guy.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Why you doing
Why?
that?
Why? He's acting. Why?
Man, don't
he's like a gallus. Like
yeah, exactly.
That's your example.
So, that's what I'm saying. It's too obvious. The thing is, it's too obvious for Young'un to be in a film with bare gal and doing all that stuff. I'd like to see him do something completely different.
You can't make him do that.
Yeah. Nine's playing a police officer.
You're killing people.
That's funny.
I'd like to see Frecky play a black pope.
That's funny.
Do you know what? I can see Frecky playing a pastor differently.
Yeah.
Like a
there you go.
pastor.
See it there?
Like a pastor, like a
yeah, like one of them American ones. Everyone dancing and all of that. Yeah, I mean in the background. Notes doing the autobiography of Usain Bolt.
Why? Because he's tall.
I don't know. It just came to my head. And I got Ray Black playing the autobiography of Miss Dynamite.
That's likely.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And the last one's controversial still.
Go.
But a movie,
yeah,
where Crept fancies Conan.
What? Bruv, pause. Where you going?
Could you imagine?
Bruv,
this is all outside of the box, bruv.
No, you're
this is all
mad.
outside of the box, bruv.
Pause.
You can't have man just playing what you would usually kind of see them play.
That is the biggest pause ever.
Why?
Pause.
Why?
Pause.
They're acting. It's not real.
I'd cast Ray Black as Lady Dynamite though. That's a good casting.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, they give me the same vibe.
Yeah.
You know, like that. The like branding, not like what they look like, obviously, but like that type of music they make and like the essence of their music.